everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So in this video I am continuing my Fill the World series where I build houses for all of the empty lots in each of EA's worlds. So this time we are in Oasis Springs building for the lot called Arid Ridge. It's in like not the super fancy neighborhood, but like the one that's like the next level down. So yeah, this is a Spanish style, I'm calling it a mansion. I mean, like, it's technically not really a mansion, but like it does have 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. So in my mind, that kind of makes it more of a mansion. But really, it's a very large house. We'll put it that way. So I wanted to build a house that, for one thing, obviously fit in with this neighborhood. Obviously, you can place it on any lot that it fits. You don't have to place it on this lot if you don't want to, but it is more or less designed for this lot in particular. I wanted to do a house that was like the house where the kids who live there, like that's where their friends come to hang out, you know? Like I think growing up, like we all had that one friend where it was just like they just always hosted things for whatever reason. Like maybe they had the biggest house or they were closest to the school or whatever. In my growing up experience, it was usually the kid who had the biggest house that they tended to host the most things. Just because they had the most room, and then, you know, like they typically had like the newest, nicest things, like, you know, the cool TV or the new Nintendo system or whatever. So I wanted this house to be kind of representative of that. So it's very large, very spacious, and there's a lot of like entertainment space. Like there's places to sit outside on the front porch. There's places to sit outside on the front porch upstairs. There's a very, very large like living room, family room type area. There's a very large like outdoor pool, which, oh yeah, that's always a big selling point, I think. Like, at least from a kid point of view, maybe not from the parents' point of view, especially if they have to maintain the pool themselves. But from the kid point of view, it's like, yeah, of course you want to go over to the friend's house who has the pool, which, I mean, in all honesty, like none of my super close friends growing up had a pool. Although, actually, no, that isn't true. I did have a friend of mine from high school who, she had a pool in her backyard, and she also had a hot tub. But in, like, kindergarten through 8th grade, I didn't know anyone who had a pool. But yeah, so those are like the kinds of things where it's like, yeah, like obviously we're gonna go over to so-and-so's house because they've got the fun stuff. And of course, you know, then I wanted it to kind of fit in with the neighborhood. And I know that Oasis Springs came out before we had pools, which is honestly such a weird thing to even think about, like looking back, that when The Sims 4 launched, it didn't have pools. Like, what? That's just weird to think about. Like, and I know that there were like issues at launch and stuff, getting stuff ready on time and all that jazz, but it's just kind of a weird thing to think about now. Like, because this is like the neighborhood where I'm like, yeah, obviously all of these houses should have pools, because for one thing, you're like in a desert and it's like an upscale neighborhood. So like, that just makes sense. But yeah, so since most of the other houses in this neighborhood don't have pools, I definitely wanted to include like a nice big pool area in the backyard because, you know, it suits the area, even though it's technically the only house in this neighborhood that actually has a pool. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe you've gone in and edited it so that other houses do have pools, which, you know, props to you if you have that kind of time and dedication to go in and do that, but I don't. So, you know. But yeah, so this is the kitchen. Again, it's a very large kitchen with like double ovens and a big island in the middle. Lots and lots of counter space here. You know, the kind of kitchen where if you were having a lot of people over for meals and stuff, there would be plenty of space to set out all of the various food and things that you had prepared. You know, like maybe you buy like the drink fountain thing that came with, I think Luxury Party was where that one came from, I want to say. Pretty sure it's Luxury Party. Or just space in general, just to prepare meals. Like, I don't know. I love a good big kitchen. I mean, like, the kitchen that I have in my house right now is definitely bigger than the kitchen that I had in the apartment that we had been living in, like, prior to a couple of years ago. But it's still not what I would call, like, a big kitchen. Like, it's bigger, but it's still, like, there's room to grow, for sure. So this is, like, in a way, it's almost like my dream kitchen. Because anything bigger than my current kitchen would classify, I think, as a dream kitchen. Not to, like, completely dump on my kitchen, which is, it's a very nice kitchen, like, let's be real. But, like, you know, like, if you've ever been into, like fancy homes, like, our area, they, in the fall, like, early fall, they always have what they call the parade of homes. And it's, like, you know, new build houses that are actually owned by someone, they just haven't moved in yet. And it's supposed to be, like, representative of, like, up-and-coming trends and styles for, like, home building. And if you've ever done something like that, or, like, if your area has something similar to that, like, the whole, like, really large kitchen thing is definitely, I think, a thing that's here to stay. So, you know, it's something to aspire to, I guess. So, yeah, and usually, I don't know, this house's layout, I think, is a little bit different than what I would normally do, but it is, I think it works really well for this. So this is now the dining room area. Again, I tend to not build my dining rooms quite this large because I sort of feel like once you have the dining room table and the bar and maybe a hutch, like, what else do you put in there? But I did make it so that it all works out. I was a little surprised. The dining room hutch from Cats and Dogs, which is my favorite one to use, especially in, like, a bigger fancy house like this, because it has, like, pre-installed plates and stuff that make it look a little nicer. It didn't fit on the short wall height, which I didn't really want to do the tall wall height on this house because, I don't know, I just thought it looked a little funny with some of the windows and stuff. But yeah, I was a little surprised by that. And yeah, so I have this nice little nook over here for the dining room table, and then another little nook for the bar area, which I don't always put bars in my houses, actually, but for this type of a house, I felt like they're doing a lot of entertaining. A bar would probably be very helpful. Also, I do end up swapping out those curtains. I don't know, I was kind of all over the place when I was doing this room. I didn't really know if I wanted to go more traditional or more contemporary. And in the end, contemporary sort of wins out, but I had a hard time finding curtains that I liked. And when I first started doing this house, I was trying to be more careful about how many packs I was using, but I quickly realized as I built further that on a house of this size, trying to be restrictive on packs is just really difficult. Like, because otherwise you're going to end up repeating items, because, like, if you're limiting yourself to just the base game and a couple of other packs on top of it, you need other things to kind of fill it in a little bit more. And yeah, I definitely ran into an issue where the packs that I had originally sort of set aside as my preferred packs for this build were just not quite enough. So I swap out those curtains in the dining room. We still have the same curtains, I think, in the office, because the office area there is a little bit more traditional. Also, that's another thing that I've noticed in, like, not super fancy houses, but, like, bigger houses, like McMansion-y types of houses, you know? A lot of times they have, like, a home office right inside the front door. And I sort of suspect that that might be because, like, maybe if one of the parents is working from home, either part of the time or all the time, but that way then it's very easy for their clients, if they have clients coming over for a meeting or something, then they can just sort of pop in, and then you just sort of make a hard right turn and boom, there's the office, like right there. So I did that, and and again, if you've never seen one of my builds, I usually try to put a computer inside of a room with a door, so that way then you can lock it, and Sims who come over to your house don't constantly just want to play on the computer, because that's super rude and annoying, and I don't like it. So this is the very large family room / living room area. It actually got to the point with this room where it was so big, I was having a hard time coming up with things to put in it. So I got rid of the game table thing because it didn't quite suit the style. Like, we haven't really, like, we got a game table in Outdoor Retreat, and we got one in Get Together. But we haven't had one since then, and those two, like, the one for Outdoor Retreat is very obviously meant to be like an outdoor folding table, and the one from Get Together it just doesn't look quite right for the style of room I was going for, so I got rid of it. And then just like trying to find a rug for this space was really difficult. So eventually I do take the same rug that I had placed under the couches and stuff, and just I shrink it down and then have it underneath the piano and underneath the like what I would call like the little dance floor area in front of the stereo. So, and I do actually, I fill in with a little bit more decorations. I didn't film all of it because, like, this build took me a very long time to do, and I didn't want this video to be crazy long, because, in my opinion, like, 20 minutes on a speed build is already kind of long. So, I wanted to kind of keep things in check a little bit. This is the master bedroom. I went with, like, a purpley gray color scheme in here. Very calming, I think. Like, you know, like, I always see that on home shows. Like, you want the master bedroom to be, like a calm oasis. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for. Obviously I used a lot of the stuff from Seasons here. And then there's, I think that love seat is Jungle Adventure. There's actually a pretty good amount of Jungle Adventure stuff in this build, I've noticed. And I think that mirror is base game, but you know. And then this is the second bedroom. So this is what I sort of designed to be like a teen girl bedroom, but you know, I mean, because it's very feminine looking. But again, I don't normally give my teenagers a double bed because, like, I didn't get to have a double bed when I was a teenager. I was stuck sleeping in a single. So I don't get it. Nobody gets it. That's kind of my attitude. But I thought for this room, I liked that bed and I liked how it fit in the room. So, and then of course, you know, if you don't want to have it as a teenager's bedroom, you don't have to. And I've used a lot of the stuff from Vintage Glamour. It's like super girly. I don't normally do bedrooms that are quite this girly looking, but this is like extreme levels of girliness. And in all honesty, it is kind of fun to do that every once in a while, and because there are some really pretty items in the game, I think, that work really well for making a very, very like glitz and glam, girly kind of bedroom. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff from Vintage Glamour. I think the bookcase is City Living, I want to say. So yeah, again, like I said, if you download this house, be aware it just uses a very wide variety of expansion packs and game packs and stuff packs, and you know that. More recently I've been trying to limit what I'm using, but not with this house. Maybe someday I'll get the courage to do that with a house of this size, but I just kind of wanted to build for fun. Also, first of all, this is the toddler bedroom, if you haven't figured that out, and I went with like a red, yellow, and blue color scheme based off of the bed. And yeah, so definitely more of a true gender neutral toddler bedroom. But what I was going to say a minute ago is, if you notice, this lot is completely flat. And that's because I did this build like a week ago before the new update had come out with terrain tools. So it's definitely completely flat. I'm not even sure if there would be anything else that would be impacted by this being built before the update, except for the fact that, like, I didn't get to take advantage of using terrain tools in it, because when I did this build, we didn't have them yet. So yeah, it took me a little while to do the build, and then over the weekend, last weekend, I had my baby shower on Saturday and my best friend's baby shower on Sunday, and it was an exhausting weekend. And normally I try to do, if I do a speed build over the weekend, I try to get the video up like early in the week, the following week. That just was not happening. So I didn't even finish this build until during the day on Monday. And it's just been a crazy, crazy time. Like, you know, like I sort of expected that closer to my due date, or like once she's here, things would get crazy. Did not expect it to happen already this early in the, I mean, it's not really early. Like, I'm currently 32 weeks pregnant. So like, definitely third trimester, definitely not early. But even still, didn't expect things to get quite so chaotic already, and they definitely had. Also, did not realize how exhausting going to your own baby shower could be. I literally, when I got home from my shower on Saturday evening, my tailbone hurt so bad, I could hardly walk. I am not even joking. I tried to get up from the couch to make myself a mug of hot chocolate, and I couldn't move my legs. I literally had to like shuffle my way. Well, I tried to shuffle my way to the kitchen, and I had to stop because I couldn't make it. I made it as far as the bottle of Tylenol on my counter like ledge, and then I had my husband go and make me my hot chocolate instead because I could not walk. I was in so much pain. Like, yeah, so definitely overdid it there. Like, this has been like a problem that I've had my entire life. I don't like accepting help from people. Like, you kind of have to force me to accept help from you, and I don't ask for help ever, and I also really don't like being told or feeling like I can't do something, and I'm very stubborn. So basically, now that I'm starting to have more issues with things like bending over to pick stuff up off the ground, or just like pain and discomfort in general, like, I am a terrible patient. Let me just put it that way. It's not pleasant. So this is the little girl's bedroom. I think I talked all the way through the little boy bedroom, but you saw it happen. So I used a lot of the stuff actually for both of these two bedrooms from Kids Room Stuff, which I use that pack pretty frequently, but I don't always use like the full set of bedroom items from it. But I really liked, especially the little girl's bedroom. I really liked how this turned out because there's a lot of, like, in the pale purpley color swatch of things, there's a lot of like space themed items, which I really appreciate. As a former child who really, really loved space, I appreciate that like they put in some stereotypical like girly colored items that aren't like just flowers and cute animals. Like, they're a little bit more nerdy, so it's kind of like a little nerdy girl bedroom. So anyway, so this is Palm Lodge. Like I said before, it's a 40 by 30 lot in Oasis Springs, but any 40 by 30 lot will do just fine. And it's currently available for download on the Sims 4 gallery. You can get to it by either clicking on the link in the description box below, or you can search for it on the gallery using my username, which is Mrs. Tomato 1018, or through the hashtag Mrs. Tomato 1018. And as always, there is no custom content in this build. I definitely did use move objects, but there's no custom content, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can do so down below. I put up a new video 4 times a week. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.
I